MA089, Chapter 5.1, Properties of Real Numbers. Okay, there are many properties of real numbers. So first of all, let's consider the commutative property of addition and multiplication. Okay, commutative property means, okay, here's an equation. Okay, let's say there is an example expression a plus b. Well, let's use numbers first. So if there's a number expression 2 plus 3, actually 2 plus 3 is 5, right? 5. But is it also okay that switch these 2 and 3, interchange these two numbers, 2 and 3? So 3 plus 2. So you can, when you add two numbers, you can just switch these two numbers. So actually they are equal. So commutative property of addition means you can switch these two numbers or two terms, then still the result is the same. Okay, that's the commutative property of addition. How about the multiplication? The commutative property of multiplication is a product. Multiplication is a product. So let's say 2 times 3. Okay, 2 times 3 is 6, but is it also okay to change this, interchange this 3 and 2? So 3 times 2. So 3 times 2 is also 6. So the result is same. So when you add or multiply, you can switch these two numbers. How about this? How about negative numbers? So you have this one. Okay, 2 plus negative 3. Okay, 2 plus negative 3 is negative 1, right? Negative 1. But you can switch these two numbers, which is negative 3 plus 2. Still, we have the same answer, negative 1. How about this? Negative 2 times 3. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. But still, we can switch these two numbers. So 3 times negative 2. Then still this negative 6. Still same, right? Same. So whenever there is a plus, you can switch. But if a number is negative, 3 minus 2, then this is not equal to 2 minus 3. In this case, you cannot interchange these 3 and 2 if this is a subtraction. If you want to change it, if you want to apply the commutative property, then you can make it plus. So 3 plus negative 2, then you can interchange these two. So negative 2 plus 3. Then this is okay. But if this is minus, then you cannot change these 3 and 2. So that's commutative property of addition and multiplication. Okay, next property is associative property of addition and multiplication. Associative property. Okay, associative property is you can regroup. So let's say there are 3 numbers. This expression contains 3 numbers, adding 3 numbers. So 2 plus 3 plus 4. Then how would you add these 3 numbers? You can start from left to the right. So first of all, you can add these 2 and 3 first. So we can put parentheses to group 2 numbers. So 2 plus 3 is 5, and the 5 plus 4 is 9. Actually, this is equal to same as this one. So 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Then you can add the last 2 numbers first. So this is still okay. So 2 plus 7 is 9. So actually the associative property of addition is the order is same, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. The order of the number is the same, but you are regrouping. So grouping is different. So you can group the first 2 numbers, or you can group the last 2 numbers. It doesn't matter. Okay, how about multiplication? Associative property of multiplication is, let's say we're gonna multiply 3 numbers. 2 times 3 plus 4. 3 times 3. 3 times 4. Then you can group. This is a product. There's no division. Product. So once you simplify the product, you can multiply the first two factors. Or, let me write this one again. 2 times 3 times 4. Or you can multiply the last two numbers first. Still, the answer will be the same. So the answer will be the same. So the associated property is the order of the numbers are exactly the same. The left side, the order of the numbers in the left side of the equation is same as the order of the number in the right side. 234, 234. What you can do is you can group differently, but still it is fine. So that's called associated property. Okay, so let's try this one. How about this? Is it associated property or commutative property? Let's say, okay, 3x. Okay, here is 3x and y. 3x and y. So this 3x times y. And then here's also 3xy. But we're going to put this xy together. So this is associated property because you can multiply 3 and x first and then multiply by y. Or you can multiply xy first and then multiply by 3. It's the same. How about this? 3xy, we have 3x, and then y, 3x. Is it multiplication property, or is this associated property of multiplication, or is this commutative property of multiplication? Okay, now this one is commutative property. This is the commutative property of multiplication. So I think I better write this one in the here. So in this case, this example, 3x parenthesis multiplied by y. So there are one parenthesis which is 3x, right? And then you are interchanging these two. You are interchanging these two. So this is the commutative property. This is commutative property of multiplication. This is not associated property. In order to satisfy the associated property, 3xy must lie exactly the same on the right side as well. So 3xy, then we must have 3xy. So something like this. 3xy, 3xy. And then you are grouping differently. Then this is associated property of multiplication. Okay, hope you get this. Okay, addition property of 0. This is a really important concept. Addition property of 0. This means you have a number, and then when you add this number by 0, then the result is the number itself. This is the addition property of 0. Or 0 plus 3. Then the answer will be still 3, right? Addition property of 0. So whenever you add a number, so whenever you add 0 to a number, then the result is always the number itself. And then you can interchange this a and 0, right? A and 0. Still, the answer will be the number itself. This is addition property of 0. Okay, how about, okay, let's consider next property. Okay, for addition property of 0, let's have some more examples. Here is the number 0 plus negative 7. Then the result will be negative 7. How about this? You have a negative number and then plus 0. Then this one is same as what? Negative 5, right? Okay, the multiplication property of 0. So multiplication property of 0 is you have a number, then this number is multiplied by 0. Then the result is always 0. So whenever you multiply a number by 0, then the result is what? 0. How about 0 times a number? Still 0, right? 0. This is different from 3 plus 0. This is multiplication. Okay, how about negative number? If negative 9 is multiplied by 0, then what? The result is 0. Okay, 0 times negative 8. So I will put parentheses to protect this negative number. So 0 times 8 is what? Still 0, right? Okay, don't write like this. 0 times negative 8. Okay, please ignore, avoid writing this expression, because this one looks like 0 minus 8, right? But you want to multiply, then put a dot. It's a 0 dot. Dot means multiply, and then if the second number is a negative number, then put parentheses. So we know this is a product of 0 and negative 8. But if we put it like this, then sometimes it's confused. Is it 0 minus 8 or something? So don't use this expression. Okay, so please avoid writing an expression like this. So make sure if you are multiplying a number, then put parentheses. Okay, next definition property is multiplication property of 1. Okay, multiplication property of 1, this is a really important concept. Very, very important, because you have a number, there's a number, and this number is multiplied by 1, then the result is always same as 3. So whenever you write 4, actually this 4 is what? 4 times 1 or 1 times 4, right? So 4 times 1 is 4. How about 1 times 4? 1 times 4 is also 4. How about 1 times negative 2? 1 times negative 2 means still negative 2, right? So negative 2 is just one number, so you don't have to put a parenthesis if it's a single number. How about this? Negative 2 is multiplied by 1. Then negative 2 stays, right? So just negative 2. Okay, so sometimes we will try to make an expression to make it 1. So for example, later we will learn this one later on. So okay, here's a number 3x. So in order to make this means 2 times 1, right? 2 times 1. So in order to make this one as 1 times x, which is x, what would you do? In order to make this one x, get rid of this 2, that means we will divide this one by 2, so that it will be 1 times 2, because 2 and the numerator 2 and the denominator 2 will cancel out, so this one will become x. So later, okay, this is a really important concept, which means we want to make this expression into x. How do we make it x? Divided by 2, so they will become 1 times x, right? Okay, so let me erase this part. Okay, the inverse property of addition is also an important property. Okay, this means we want to add two numbers so that the result will be 0. So that means here's the number 3. And I want to add something to this number so that the result is 0. So what should be this number? Okay, that should be the number that is whose sign is different. Okay, so you are adding two numbers with different, same number, adding two same numbers with different sign, then the result is 0, right? So this 3 and negative 3 is called, okay, negative 3, actually, negative 3 and 3. These two numbers have different signs, right? Different signs, but the same number, but different signs. Then these two numbers called additive inverse of, so 3 is the additive inverse of negative 3, and negative 3 is the additive inverse of 3. So a number and its additive inverse, when you add these two numbers, it will become 0. Okay, so we can say this one. 3 is the additive inverse. Additive inverse of -3. Because the sign is different. Or 3 is the opposite of what? 3 is the opposite of -3, right? So if a number is opposite of another one, then that number is additive inverse of that number. Okay, so how about -3? If a number is -3, then -3 is the additive inverse of what? +3. And -3 is the opposite of what? 3, right? Opposite of 3. So opposite of number means change the sign. So when you add a number and its opposite or additive inverse, which is different sign, then the result is 0. Okay, this is really important concept. Okay, so -3 is the opposite of 3, and 3 is the opposite of -3. And then the opposite number is called also an additive inverse. So -3 is the additive inverse of 3, and 3 is the additive inverse of -3. Okay, so when you add two numbers, so the sum of a number and its additive inverse is always 0. So 3 is a number and its additive inverse -3. So when you add these two numbers, it is equal to 0. Okay, so let's try another example. So 2 plus -2 is equal to what? 0. How about this one? -8 plus the additive inverse of -8, or the opposite of -8 is +8. So plus 8 is equal to what? 0. Can you see it? So there are two numbers are added, and these two numbers have different sign and the same amount, then the result is 0. So that is called the inverse property of addition. Okay, the inverse property of multiplication. So this means when you multiply two numbers, then the result will become 1. So, for example, here is number 4, and then 4 times 1/4 is equal to 1, right? Then what is this number? Okay, you have a number 4, and you're multiplying this 4 by 1/4, and this number is the reciprocal of number 4. So let's say a is a number, then 1/a is a number, 1/a, then a will be the reciprocal of 1/a. So the reciprocal means here's a number 2/3. So the reciprocal of 2/3 is what? Just switch these two, right? Switch these two, numerator and denominator. So that's the reciprocal of this fraction, a number. So how about the reciprocal? Let's consider some other reciprocal examples. Okay, so the reciprocal of 3/4 is equal to what? What we do is switch this numerator and denominator. So it will be 4/3, right? 4/3. Okay, let's try more. Okay, how about the reciprocal of -2/3? Then also we will switch these two, and the negative sign stays the same. Negative sign stays the same, and 3/2. Okay, if you change the sign, then it is opposite, making opposite of the number. So we are not making opposite, we are making a reciprocal. So negative sign stays same. How about this one? How about reciprocal of 2? Okay, reciprocal of 2 is, 2 is actually equal to what? 2/1, isn't it? 2/1. So when you switch this top and bottom, it becomes 1/2. How about reciprocal of 1/5? Then definitely 1/5, switch these two, right? Switch these two, then it will be 5/1, which is 5, right? 5. we usually don't write 5 over 1. So if the denominator is 1, then just get rid of this denominator 1. Okay. And if a number is just integers like this, then actually this one is 3 over 1, right? So reciprocal is what? The reciprocal will be 1 over 3. Okay, so 1 over a, the reciprocal of 1 over a will be just a because you are interchanging the numerator and denominator. So the reciprocal is another name of the reciprocal is multiplicative inverse. The multiplicative inverse means switch the numerator and denominator. So the definition is this. The inverse property of multiplication is when you multiply a number, let's say a, and its reciprocal will be equal to 1. Or you have 1 over a, and the reciprocal of this 1 over a is a, right? Then the result is 1. Okay, let's do more examples of this multiplicative inverse. So, okay, I want to multiply 1 over 6, and the reciprocal of 1 over 6, or the multiplicative inverse of 1 over 6 is 6, right? Then the result is 1. How about negative 9? So multiply negative 9 by what? Should be 1. It should be the reciprocal of negative 9, which is negative 1 over 9. Okay. How about you have negative 2/3? So I want to multiply this by some number so that it becomes 1. Then what should you multiply? The reciprocal of this number. So negative 3 over 2. Don't forget the negative sign. Can you see it? Try more. This is really important concept. So you have 2, right? 2. Then what should you multiply so that it becomes 1? You need to multiply 1 over 2, right? 1 over 2. The reciprocal of 2. Try more. How about you have 3/4? Then what do you multiply to make it 1? Multiply by 4 over 3. Okay, keep try. Okay, one last thing. Okay, how about you have 1 over 5? Then what do you need to multiply to make it 1? Right, it should be number 5. Okay, so this is the inverse property of multiplication. A really important concept, important property. Okay, let's simplify this expression. And this expression is a product, isn't it? Because you have a parenthesis times another parenthesis. This is a product, and each parenthesis is also a product, 5 times y. So this is equal to 5 times y times 3 times y. They are products. So from this product, you can interchange these two. That is called what? Commutative property of multiplication, right? So exchange this y and 3. So you are applying what? You are using commutative property of multiplication. And then from this, you can regroup it. These are all products, so you can regroup this. So that is 5 times 3 first, and then y times y together. So this is the multiplication property of what? Association, right? So 5 times 3 is 15, and y times y is y squared. Make sense? Okay, so let's try another example. Negative 40 plus 9 plus 40. So we have 40 and 40. So why don't we put 40s together? So let's interchange these two. So 40, so not this one. So we want to put together, so let's interchange these two. Okay, then negative 40 plus 40 plus 9, right? So what we used is, since we interchange two terms, this is the commutative property of addition. Commutative property of addition, right? And then from this, since we have 40 and 40, let's put them together. So negative 40 plus 40. Put this as one group, and then simplify this parenthesis. So since we regrouped it, this is associative property. Right? Associative property of addition. And then add these two, then it becomes 0, right? 0. Why is it 0? Because negative 40 and 40, they are additive inverse, right? Additive inverse. Same value with different sign. So the result will be 0. So addition property of 0, right? Addition property of, sorry. This is additive inverse property, right? Additive inverse property. All right, then 0 plus 9 is, this is addition property of 0. So when you add a number 0 to a number, then the result is the number is there. This is addition property of 0. Okay, then let's simplify next expression. Okay, negative 4r times negative 19. This is all product. Okay, there are one parenthesis contains this product, and the second parenthesis contains a product. So the result is a product, so we can write it like this. Negative 4, let's put parenthesis, times r times negative 9 times t, right? So from here, why don't we put the numbers together? We can interchange the numbers, commutative property of multiplication. So negative 4, put the negative 4 and negative 9 together. That means still it's a product, right? Multiplication. And then r and t together. So this one is equal to, so from here, let's multiply negative 4 and negative 9 first. So we can put it like this. Negative 4 and negative 9 together, right? And then r and t together. So this will be negative 3 times negative 9 is negative, positive 36. And then RT. R times T, we can put together RT. RT means R times T, right? R times T. Okay, RT means what? R times T. Okay, so instead of writing R times T, you can just put RT. Okay, so the result is negative 36 RT. Okay, the next property is really important as well. Distributive property. So there's an expression a plus b. This is an addition. So I want to multiply this a plus b by a number 2. So that means this is same as 2 times parenthesis a plus b. Then the distributive property is this. Multiply each a and b, the term a and b, by 2. So let me draw a little arrow. So I'm going to multiply this a by 2, like this. Also multiply b by 2. So you can write it like this. So 2 times a. So 2a, isn't it? 2a plus 2b. This is a distributive property. So let's try more examples. Okay, here is 3. Okay. Here is 3 parentheses, and then 5a plus 4. So when you in order to remove the parentheses, we have to use distributive property. So that means this factor 3 should be multiplied by what? Each 5a and 4. So multiply 3 by what? 5a. Let me put parentheses, plus. So this plus stays here, and then 3 is multiplied by 4. Then using the associated property, you can multiply 3 and 5 first, right? So 3 times 5 is 15a plus 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, how about this? Okay, I want to multiply negative 4 by a parenthesis, which is 2a plus 3. Okay, we do the same thing. Okay, negative 4. Okay, I'm going to multiply 2a. Multiply this 2a by what? Negative 4. Then plus, multiply this 3 by negative 4. So we can write it like this. Negative 4 times 2a plus negative 4 times 3. Okay, then negative 4 times 2 is negative 8a plus negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. So you can write it negative 8. So plus negative 12 means what? Minus 12. Right? So we have to, whenever the second term is negative number, then change this plus, change this addition, rewrite this addition to a subtraction. Okay. Okay, so let's try another example. Okay, here is a parenthesis b minus b plus c. Then using the distributive property, we can write it this one as a times b, right? A times b, so ab, and then plus a times c, so ac. How about the subtraction? A times b minus c. Then do the same thing. A times b, so ab, and then minus sign stays here, so ac. Can you see it? So minus a times c, right? Okay. Okay, let's simplify this expression by using the distributive property. So what we're going to do is multiply this 2x by what? 5, right? So 5 times 2x. Then you have minus sign, so put the minus sign. And then multiply 5 by 4y. Okay, so you have 2x and 4y, 4x and 2y. 2x and 4y, right? Okay, so that is equal to 5 times 2 is 10x. Then minus 5 times 4 is 20y. Can you see this part? So what we did is we multiplied 2x and 4y by 5. And then minus sign stays inside. Okay, let's remove the parentheses. So how do you rewrite this expression without the parentheses? Okay, so the parentheses has negative sign here. So minus sign here, that means we will replace the sign of each term inside the parentheses. Change the sign. So 4a is positive, so you make it minus 4a. And the second term is minus 3b, so make it plus 3b. Change the sign. And plus 7 becomes what? Minus 7. So when you remove the parentheses, since we have a minus sign, negative sign in front of the parentheses, we multiply each addend, which means each term inside the parentheses by negative. Multiply by negative, which means when you multiply by negative, you are changing the sign. Making the number opposite, right? Opposite of the number. Opposite means change the sign. So multiplying negative, change the sign. Okay, so let's simplify this expression. So we're going to multiply each addend inside the parentheses by negative 2. So when you multiply by negative, actually we need to change the sign. But let's write everything together. So this means negative 2 multiplied by what? 3m, right? 3m. So multiply this 2 and multiply this 2. So minus sign because this minus sign, so put the minus sign. And negative 2 is multiplied by 8n, right? And then finally this one. So plus sign, here's plus. So write plus, and then multiply negative 2 by 5. Okay, then simplify each term. Okay, this is 3m, right? 3m. So for these two, then multiply these two numbers, negative 2 and 3, so that's negative 6m. And then minus minus, right? Minus minus means what? Plus, right? Plus. So plus 2 times 8 is 16. And then you have a minus, this is negative 10, right? Negative 10. So plus negative 10 means minus 10. Right? Or you can do this way. So this 3m will be multiplied by negative 2, right? So you can just multiply this negative 2. So negative 2 times 3m. And multiply this negative 8n by negative 2. And this is minus sign. So you can change the sign, make it plus, right? Plus. Change the sign. So there will be, okay, why don't we just use the mental math? So why don't we just try it again? This is faster. So 3m will be multiplied by what? Negative 2, right? Negative 2. So just multiply by negative. So that we need to change the sign. So negative 6m. Okay, how about the second end then? Negative 8n times negative 2. So negative 2 times negative is what? Positive. So make it plus, and 2 times 8 is 16n. And this is plus 5. So since we are multiplying by negative, the result is minus, right? Change the sign. So 2 times 5 is 10. So you can get the answer directly like this. Okay, let's simplify this expression. Okay, what you can do is multiply each addend inside the parentheses by negative 4. Right, this is a negative number. So multiply this, then that will be what? Negative 4 times 2x. And then multiply this by negative 7. Negative 7y. So minus sign stays. And then negative 4 is multiplied by 7y. And then finally multiply this, so minus sign. And then negative 4 is multiplied by what? Z, right? Z. So that is equal to. And the first term is negative. 4 times 2 is 8x. The second term is negative times negative is positive. So it becomes plus 4 times 7, 28y. And the last one, negative times negative is positive. Minus negative times negative is positive. So plus 4z. Okay, or you can try this way. Let's try our mental math. So 2x times negative 4 is what? Negative, multiply everything, so negative 8x. And then minus 7y. Minus 7y times negative 4. So there are two negatives, so becomes positive, right? Positive. So 4 times 7, 28y. And then negative z times negative 4. Since we are multiplying negative, change the sign. So minus becomes plus. And then 4z. Okay, so you can use mental math to write the answer like this. Okay, let's try the last example. Okay, this one is pretty simple because we are multiplying these three addends inside the parentheses by 3. So multiply these two, then 3 times negative 2v. You can use mental math plus 3 times 3w, right? 3 times 3w, and then minus 3 times 7. 3 times 7. So this will be negative 6v plus 9w, and then minus 21. Or you can use mental math. So mental math is what? Multiply these two. Negative 2v times 3. So there will be minus 6v. And 3w times 3 is what? 9W. And then negative 7 times 3s minus 21. Okay, so you need to practice this using this distribution property many times so that you can use mental math. All right, hope you get this.